Well, that was an absolute belt to you know what. Inter Miami completely dominates FC Cincinnati 4-0 in a game that I thought was going to be a true battle, that this game could go either way. Both teams were going to have to fight for it 50-50. Miami on the road, having to prove themselves as road warriors, and they came out in dominating fashion. FC Cincinnati lays a complete egg. Feel very bad for their fans. Not what you want to see, especially with a team that's invested 30 to 40 million dollars in their roster or their team this past offseason. But Inter Miami just too good to beat. We're going to break it down the first and second half and talk about what's coming forward and what Inter Miami could be potentially looking at in the next round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. But let's start off with the first half. The first half was very interesting, and it's kind of like what I thought, a battle, right? FC Cincinnati, the first 15, 16 minutes of the game were in complete control. They were dominating possession. They looked comfortable. Miami looked like they were trying to figure things out, trying to read what Cincinnati was trying to do. And it looked like Cincinnati was going to probably, put the pressure on Miami in this game. And Miami's going to have to earn it, right? Miami has had some struggles this year, especially on the road. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you give it a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 12,000 subscribers by MLS Cup Final Day, which is less than 2 months away. A lot of exciting playoff games ahead of us, and we have real momentum, so I think we could hit that goal. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and hit that little bell notification so you never miss any of our videos. Now, back to the video. But after the 15th or 16th minute, the entire game just kind of shifted on its head, like completely shifted on its head. Messi scored in the 19th minute. And at that point, I thought, okay, Miami's pulled one. They scored. Messi's in the game, right? He's involved. He's cooking. This could be trouble for FC Cincinnati. Completely different than what we saw with LAFC in Vancouver last night. We have Miami scoring first and looking like they're going to get the leg up on the FC Cincinnati. So 19 minutes in, they score. And I'm like, okay, what a beautiful, by the way, beautiful cross by Mateo Silvetti. And I said this before the game. I said, Mateo Silvetti is the second best player on this team. And a lot of people thought that was crazy because they said, Will, the kid's 19 years old. He's not that experienced. Yes, he had a great U20 World Cup with Argentina. Yes, he's been touted as a very talented player, but he's just not there yet. You saw today what difference he makes, Silvetti. He had a beautiful, beautiful clinical cross to Messi, and Messi scored the conventional header, right? Because we know Messi for scoring headers. But there was a beautiful cross, great composure. The kid's just a difference maker. Silvetti is a special guy, special player, and I don't think he's going to be long for Major League Soccer. I think he's going to be on the move. He's going to have a lot of suitors. I just don't think he's going to be here much longer. And he just got here, which is crazy. But that just shows how good and how talented he is. And also, too, Javier Mascherano having the fortitude, having the vision to not play Luis Suarez coming back off suspension and playing Silvetti after he played so well in the last game against Nashville SC in game 3. It paid off. Like Silvetti is balled out. Okay. He balled out. And Luis Suarez just officially lost his starting spot. He might as well just go ahead and retire. La Tortuga might as well just go ahead and retire and join the coaching staff. He actually got up and was coaching at one point. He was whispering to Maxi Falcone, which is kind of funny, but it's over for Luis Suarez. La Tortuga is done. So he might as well just go ahead and change, swap out the cleats for the whistle and ask Javier Mascherano if he can sit on the sidelines and be a part of the coaching staff at this point, because I just don't see it happening or him playing much anymore. But so first half completely changes after 16 minutes. Messi scores 19th minute. I think, okay, so they're up 1-0. That's a good start. Inter Miami. I always say this, Messi and Inter Miami. If they score one goal, they normally score 2, 3, 4 goals. You hear me say this all the time. They don't ever just score one goal. So that's a good sign for what's to come. And then in the second half, I was wondering, is Cincinnati going to make any changes? Are they going to run it back? I mean, they have a lot of attacking talent. They've got Evander, they've got Brenner, they've got Denke. They got some guys, but it was just more of the same. And all the team collectively just did not look good. Inchenike was probably the best player for Cincinnati in that entire game. Most hustle, most effort, best quality. I think he was probably their best player on the pitch today. and it just wasn't enough. It was just a lot of lackluster play. But Silvetti scored a clinical finish in the 57th minute, and that was like when you started to feel like, okay, this is might get ugly. Okay, beautiful shot, right foot, right side, great finish, right? But then Allende, Tadio Allende, anybody who watches Inter Miami, anybody who follows this team knows Tadio Allende is one of the most frustrating players to watch because he has all these opportunities, all these chances. He just can't convert. He's the whiff king, right? Allende is. And when he's playing well, you know you're in trouble. If he's scoring goals, you know you're in trouble. And he scored in the 62nd minute. Clinical finish, put him up 3-0. That was the nail in the coffin. That was the nail in the coffin for this game. But just for good measure, he scored again in the 74th minute. And we got to give Messi his flowers. I mean, the guy had a goal and 3 assists in this match. He had 4 goal contributions. Lionel Messi just hit his 1,300th goal contribution of his career. 1,300th goal contribution of his career, the most ever in the history of the sport. He's the best player of all time. If you guys didn't know this already, he's the best player of all time. He's the GOAT. He's still doing this at 38 years old, which is funny because Mateo Silvetti is 19 years old, so he's literally half his age, and they're still playing together. Or Messi's playing at such a high level, even though he is that much older than some of his teammates. But he's still the best. He's still that guy. And he had 4 goal contributions today, 1,300th goal contribution of his career. Unheard of. Probably that would never be broken. I don't think no one's ever going to come close to that record. They'll probably never play long enough to come close to that record. And he was on a mission today. And that's the thing with Messi and Inter Miami is when you have Messi be able to play freely and contribute, this team wins. This team plays well. But the players around him can't create, can't play freely, then it's hard for this team to win. And I said that they have to have guys step up around him, and they did. 2 guys stepped up around him. So this is just this is one of the best performances, might be the best performance I've seen of Inter Miami in 2025. Might be the best performance I've seen. And I want to touch on them a little bit more, but real quick, I want to say about Cincinnati. I feel so bad for their fans because Cincinnati just looked very, very uninspired today. The team, they just looked uninspired. Evander, who was supposed to be your best player, was a no-show. Danke, who was the Golden Boot winner of the Belgian League in 23-24, had a good season, was a no-show. Brenner, who had been good in recent games, was a no-show. All these guys were just absolute no-shows for FC Cincinnati today. And I put that on Pat Noonan. Pat Noonan is a fraud. He's the common denominator of all these lackluster performances in the playoffs or the playoff runs they've had the last couple years. And he definitely has a high floor, but his ceiling is very low. Like he's just never going to win you an MLS Cup. And I think with all the investments they made, it's time to make a change and try to go to someone else. See if someone else can take this team further than what he's done because he can't do it. He can't do it. And that's a sad thing. Not a good way to end the season, getting blown out at home in the semifinals, especially with the investment you've made. I have to touch on Engel. Like Engel was terrible for Cincinnati. The guy's crosses were the worst I've ever seen. He was probably the worst player on the pitch today. He was god awful. It's hard to pick someone because they were all so bad, but he stood out. He stood above everyone else as far as how bad that team was. And as far as Miami, they played good collective ball. They played good team ball. This is the lineup they have to go with going forward if they want to win MLS Cup. This team just looked unstoppable. They looked comfortable. They looked composed. It didn't look like the road atmosphere, which was electric, phased them much. And they just looked dominant. Like, I don't see how any team's going to beat them at this point. And Javier Mascherano deserves some credit because he did have the courage to bench Luis Suarez for Mateo Silvetti, even though he'd be an idiot not to, but he still did it. You know, Luis Suarez is his friend, and he played with him for several years. He has respect for him, and he benched Luis Suarez for a 19-year-old Argentine player. And that's tough. Like, a lot of guys wouldn't be able to do that. So he deserves his flowers. Incredible finish. Miami's the hottest team in the league right now. Dominating fashion, dominating win. I don't know which more you could ask for. And they're going to play, by the way, it's the first time they've ever been to the Eastern Conference final. And so they're going to have a chance. If they win this next game, they will go to the MLS Cup final to be the champion of the league. They will get a chance to play to be the champion of Major League Soccer. But they got to win one more game. They got to play in the Eastern Conference Final, which they're going to face either Philadelphia Union or New York City FC. We don't know who's going to win yet. That game has not happened yet, but they will face one of those two teams. Now, if it's Philadelphia, they will play at Philadelphia. If it's New York City FC, they will play at Miami. Not that it really matters after what we saw today because they play on the road pretty well tonight. So I don't think that really matters, but what an incredible, incredible match for Inter Miami. And again, terrible match for FC Cincinnati. What the hell were they thinking? I just embarrassing fashion. I want to know, who was your guys' player of the match? Was it Messi? I would assume it was, but if take Messi aside, if you guys did pick Messi, who would be second? Was it Mateo Silvetti? Was it Allende? Who was your second player? Oh, real quick too, Sergio Busquets. Got to give a shout to him. He had a shaky first half, first 20 minutes. He settled in nice, had some good takeaways. He had some great passes, great vision. Sergio Busquets had a good game. He deserves a lot of credit for what he did tonight. Have to give him his flowers on that. He had an incredible match. And him and Jordi Alba get a chance to continue to play. They're guaranteed one more game with Inter Miami. So let me know what you guys think about this match. Is Inter Miami going to win MLS Cup? Are they going to get eliminated next week? How impressed are you with this team? And how unimpressed are you with FC Cincinnati's performance? Let me know down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys give us a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that little bell notification so you never miss a video. And until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.